Oh, what I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I said I would be back tonight. A little bit late, but had to get some of the stream setting ready for the show. I hope y'all are ready for another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast because we got some wild stuff coming up. But in the meantime, as we get prepared to talk about it, I'm just going to let you guys know right now, 99.99% chance, like we've had every single ceasefire agreement that ends up happening over in Gaza. Guess what? War is coming back. It's not going anywhere. And we've got all the statements and things like that we're going to be going over today, and we're going to talk about it. I'm happy to be back. I'm glad to be back. I'm happy to see y'all. And not only is war coming back to Gaza, ladies and gentlemen, Fort Bragg is back in the United States of America. And check this out. While we're waiting on folks to get in here, U.S. Army recruiting commercials are back to flipping normal.
I really do look at it as a good versus evil, and there's got to be good people to stop that. That's a great life, to be surrounded by people like that who have that same passion and purpose. I really do look at it as a good versus.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, how many of you guys have missed literal U.S. military breaking shit and killing people commercials that actually recruit people?
Is evil, and there's got to be good people to stop that. That's a great life, to be surrounded by people like that who have that same passion and purpose.
And while we're at it, in case you guys didn't know, military recruiting numbers are actually up again. I'll say that again, military recruiting numbers are actually back up. They're on the rise. So wouldn't you know it, it doesn't have anything to do with the end of global war on terror, but there's something that happened here in the last, I don't know, month or so that caused stuff to go up, that caused people to join the military. And it sure as shit wasn't, I don't know, anything else. I don't know.
If you had 24 hours with me and I couldn't say no, what would we do?
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
It ain't gonna link itself.
I don't know what SOB actually made that, but that is one of the best freaking stitches, anything like that I've seen in a long time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I in fact have my pants on today. They are on and in full swing. You know why? Because I've got zero flipping privacy right now. Not one shred of privacy, because I'm hanging out with my boy Rob these days, and it's a good thing. Check this out.
The disruptor in chief, Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Harry Balls, tweeted this morning, "Democracy in America is being destroyed by judicial coup. An activist judge is not a real judge." And as
I can't believe
the disruptor in chief, Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the.
So now he is the disruptor in chief. But my favorite part about this entire thing is he's going by the name Harry Balls. I don't know if I love that, but at the same time, I kind of do, because the media gave a heck of a lot of hell to everybody else. Now, when we're talking about everything, and when I say troops are surrounding Gaza, I literally mean U.S. troops, or not U.S. troops, excuse me, but Israeli troops are surrounding Gaza. They're being staged over at the frickin' border. And we're going to get into some of the actual statements that the world leaders have been saying about what's going to be going on. And I'm telling you right now, the time of the Palestinian propaganda is up. Mainstream media has finally caught on to it. I saw this video today earlier, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's captioned with, if it was the title of it is if there's one thing in the world today that you watch, that if you have time for one thing, watch this and listen. And it's a 3-minute long video. And I want to show it to you guys because it absolutely stuck me deep down in my core for many personal reasons, honestly, when it comes just to sticking to the facts and being here's a fact. Let's make you stick to the facts. Enough of your roundabout ways, enough of all of this garbage that you guys generally spit. Just stick to the facts. And if you guys have seen this, if you haven't seen this, if you're a true supporter, don't forget, drop your little dancing emojis and all the little special crap that you get. And if you're watching this for the first time, make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you're missing out.
Let's get back to what Hamas has said. They believe that terms of ceasefire have been breached. They're not going to release any more hostages. Donald Trump has said, all the hostages out by 12 on Saturday. We think he means midday. All the hostages, not just the next 3, all the hostages out, or all hell breaks loose. He said that's what he would do. He's been backing Israel. Do you think that would focus minds? I mean, there's no reason why Hamas couldn't release all of the hostages on Saturday, could there? I mean, all of them. Is there any argument that you, as someone who desperately cares about innocent people, those hostages are innocent people, are they not? Is there any reason why Hamas couldn't and shouldn't release them all?
And if you guys don't know why she's asking that question, it's because Hamas has came out and said, and I told you all this, I think it was on Friday, or maybe it was yesterday morning. Hamas is claiming that Israel has violated the ceasefire agreement by not supplying the amount of humanitarian aid that they should, and several other BS reasons. Kogatis came out, disputed them, and it just is what it is. So now Hamas is basically saying that no ceasefire, like no more hostages are going to get released. Like the scheduled hostage releases for Saturday are not going to happen. And that has prompted everybody to be saying some wild stuff, particularly that hell is going to break loose over inside of Gaza if those hostages aren't released. And we have all of that coming up here in just a sec. Listen to this woman's response, though. Listen.
Once the hostages go, and every act of kindness that has been shown to Israel has just been backlash.
Sorry? Every act of kindness?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Every act of... What were the acts? Do tell me what the acts of kindness were. The pitcher bread once every 3 days for those men kept in a tunnel for 16 months? How generous, how kind.
And you're focusing on the 3 men.
Oh, silly me.
If we look at the women.
Oh, you're going to go there. You're going to go there. Didn't they look well and healthy, Yvonne? Didn't they look well? They must have had a wonderful time at that holiday camp that Hamas ran for them for the last 16 months. When you were held captive, when you were held hostage by the Taliban, you were fed. You had cigarettes. You were looked after. You weren't in fear for your life. Those women, those men, the children, the elderly, the sick, they lived every day.
I would be in an Israeli prison.
I love the comment that just happened. Did this Jabba the Hutt looking woman just say kindness? Yeah, she did. She did. And this is why I say, like, when you're arguing with these people or anybody else like that wants to say outlandish statements, make them stick to the facts. This woman did such a good job. The lady in white did such a good job forcing her to stay on topic. Listen.
That's for sure.
Absolute abject nonsense.
We've had a doctor who was raped to death, and then the Israelis called it self-defense. When did rape become self-defense?
Well, yeah, you tell me. Let's ask your friends in Hamas, Yvonne. I'm not saying there aren't atrocities committed by some Israeli forces, and some of them end up in court, and rightly so, and they should all end up in court. I'm not defending any atrocities that are committed by any side. I want to know, what were the acts of kindness that Hamas did that have been thrown back in their face by Israel? What were those acts of kindness?
Well, they gave them goodie bags. I don't know what was in them, but they gave them gifts. They gave them little mementos, Palestinian mementos.
The acts of kindness from your hostage taker, from the man who's kidnapped, the Burmese kidnapped you and terrified you and starved you.
Oh my God.
Months.
Do you know what the mementos were that she's talking about? Like their little certificate? It was like a certificate of achievement. Congrats for being held hostage by Hamas, being starved, not getting shot in the head inside of the tunnel before we released you. That was their act of kindness.
Yvonne, what's happened to you? What's happened to you?
What's happened to me, Julia, I have watched day in, day out pictures of children being blown to shreds.
Do you know who put those out?
American and British bombs. I have watched war crimes being committed.
You know who put you know who puts those images out? Hamas. You know why we never see images of Hamas fighters being blown up? Because Hamas don't allow those out. Who put those children, who put those innocent people in harm's way? Hamas.
Oh, that's ridiculous, Julie.
That's ridiculous. They went into Israel to massacre innocent people and they took hostages. Were they surprised that Israel struck back and wanted their hostages back? No, of course they weren't. They knew what would happen. They brought down that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't lie. I mean, she handled that very like master. Like she handled that like a master. When she pointed out everything else, like I have always in the past, like why? For the love of God, why would you ever try to say that Hamas, of all people, have done acts of kindness? Why would you say that? Why? And because people are led to believe that. But this is, you want to see a reality of like what these nut jobs, ladies like her that go out on mainstream media or everywhere else that are kind of like behind that. This is why. Like, this is the end result of putting out horrible, horrible propaganda like that. Horrible propaganda. I want you to listen. I want you to listen very, very carefully to this next. I want you to listen very, very carefully to this next clip I'm about to play. I want you to listen. Listen to what this healthcare provider that is entrusted with taking care of people in his care. I want you to listen to what that kind of rhetoric actually brings. After that, I'm going to go over some of these donations that just came in because I greatly appreciate y'all.
You know what? Oh, shit.
How are you, man?
Good, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. Are you a nurse? A doctor?
I'm a doctor, my man.
A doctor? For what?
In hospital. What about you? Where are you from?
I'm from Israel, from the Holy Land.
You know what? I'm gonna be really honest with you.
All right.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. You actually got a really, really beautiful eyes.
Thank you,
but
man.
I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're gonna get killed and you're gonna go to Jahannam, inshallah. Like, these pretty eyes, they should stay in this world for longer.
Why do you think? Why do you think I'm gonna get killed?
It's Palestine's country, not
Hello,
your country. You piece
how
of
are you?
shit.
What's your name?
One day, your time will come and you will die the most.
We spread.
She said, one day your time will come and you will die the most horrible, and then a bunch of beeping. And it definitely looked like to me, I don't know about you, that she said you're going to die like the most horrible effing death. These are healthcare providers actually at work. Look at where they're at. Definitely appears like they're at work. But wait, that's not the worst yet.
Listen to me.
Peace.
Listen to me.
And you spread
when your time comes.
How are you, doctors? Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so
okay.
You can understand
Gotcha.
That you will
I have a question though.
Death.
All right, for sure. I have a question though.
Yeah,
I have a question. Let's say an Israeli. God forbid.
I won't treat them. I'll kill them.
She says, I won't treat them. I'll kill them. She's a doctor. He didn't say Israeli Defense Force. He didn't say any of that. Just Israeli. Could be a Muslim, could be a Jew, could be a Christian. That's how deranged that type of freaking propaganda. That's what that propaganda brings to people. That's not the worst yet either. Wait.
You'll kill them? So if an Israeli is in Australia and God forbid something happened to him and he comes to your hospital, would you kill him?
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent him to Jahannam. I literally sent him to Jahannam.
That, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is why it is so important to actually get truth out. There is a lot of people inside Israel, believe it or not, that actually are against the war in Gaza. Not a ton of them, but they exist. There's a ton of them that are against Netanyahu's decisions. There's a ton of them that are against how the war's like being prosecuted. There's a ton of them that aren't happy with the hostage negotiations, whatever. This guy, that one, doesn't give a shit. If you're an Israeli, done. Dead. Oz Celtics fan coming in. Says, hey, Matt, love you, and I appreciate you, brother. Your strength, courage, and fortitude inspires us all. Stay strong, brother. Much respect from Australia. Look at that. I saw that comment come in and I was like, bro, I just got to put this video up on the screen right now. I went and I dug through and I started reordering stuff and I had to throw that up there. Greatly appreciated, man. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, I'm currently over at Rob's place. I'm here for a reason. If you don't know, ask somebody. Crass Cat coming in and says, hey, Matt, I just want to thank you for setting the bar so high. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you as I continue to scroll through these. And I'm pretty sure it was Dawn Reed I saw coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Yes, it was Miss Donnie Don came in gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you, ma'am. Jason Fridley coming in with $1.99 saying, just show the view. Just show the view. I can't do the view, man. Those women just drive me freaking up a wall. Absolutely make me insane. As a prick, I can't even say your name. They have all been fired. 100%. These people up here, as soon as this crap hit mainstream media, they have been fired. They're no longer allowed to be healthcare workers over there. They're Dunskies. They're out. They're gone. No more. No more. No more. No more. They're out of our lives. We don't care. Now, for those who are upset about Trump's plan, I saw a bunch of people calling him a whack job, everything else. Like, he's a genocidal maniac. He's like Biden 2.0. I heard all sorts of different nicknames for Trump. I don't agree with Trump's plan for Gaza. I don't agree with it for several different reasons. And people can hate me for that. They can love me for that. It is what it is. But he did name Jordan as one of the countries that might be taking in Palestinians. He said he's going to work his way up to try and get them in there. Now, wouldn't you know it, I might have you a video from King George.
Mr. President, I truly believe that with all the challenges that we have in the Middle East, that I finally see somebody that can take us across the finish line to bring stability, peace, and prosperity to all of us in the region. And it is, I think, our collective responsibility in the Middle East to continue to work with you, to support you, to achieve those lofty goals. So I'm very delighted to be here. And as you said, sir, we've got some very interesting discussions ahead of us.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Now, isn't that nice? I'm sorry, the Crown Prince of Jordan, the Crown Prince of Jordan. Now, the Crown Prince of Jordan has in fact agreed to bring people into Jordan. Can't make this up, and not just 1 or 2, but 2,000 children over into Jordan. He's going to bring 2,000 children up over into Jordan and take care of them. And when people started pushing back on this crap, people started pushing back on Trump, saying, what authority do you have to deal with anything? He gave a very short answer, and this is one of those little clips that I'm just happy to be able to just kind of throw up on the screen. Cowboy92 coming in saying, hey, Matt, keep up the great work you are doing on this channel, speaking the truth and getting the facts out there. Right. This is one of those videos that it goes back down. You know, this like tiny little clip that I'm about to play, this is the type of crap that I'm like, why hasn't the White House just came out with facts? At the end of the day, why haven't they come out with just telling the media to eat a dick?
And Mr. President, take it under what authority? It is sovereign territory.
Under the U.S. authority.
And Mr. President, take it under what authority? It is sovereign territory.
Under the U.S. authority.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sanction me? Sanction me to the Army UN? Sanction me. Right? Like, that's where we're at right now. And yeah, all of those kids. And like, while we're bringing facts, I absolutely love this woman to death. I came across her the other day. Livy Savetsky. If you guys haven't heard this clip yet, this is like one of those little like facts of truth that just needs to be spit as well. I can't say it nearly as good as her, and I know some of you pervs out there are just going to want to hear it because this is who's saying it.
All right, guys, so the King of Jordan has just announced that they're going to take in 2,000 Palestinian children from Gaza who need urgent medical treatment. I have a question for you. Do you know where these children were getting their medical treatment before October 7th, 2023? Israel. And do you know who was taking them to get that medical treatment? Volunteers who lived on the kibbutzim that were slaughtered, raped, and kidnapped on October 7th. That's right. These people that devoted their whole lives to these children of Gaza were the ones who were raped, murdered, and kidnapped by Hamas. Yes. And do you know why there's no hospitals in Gaza anymore? Because they were using them as terrorist headquarters. All right, guys.
So there is just nothing but a bunch of facts that she just ended up spitting out there for you. You know, like those people that lived in those kibbutz that were over on that border region, they were some of like the best people, some of the nicest people and everything else that were willing to take them in. And they refute, like they took them in, they had workers. Those were the people that were gathering intel on the people in those kibbutzim who ended up getting slaughtered at the end of the day and taking hostage. And so you have people that are being polite and you have people that are being kind to you. You have people that are taking you in. You're getting medical attention. You're getting the ability to go to work. You're getting the ability to do all sorts of things. And it's like quite literally like the statement of don't bite the hand that feeds you. They not just bit that thing, they gnawed on it down to the bone. Down to the bone. And now they're playing games saying that they're not going to turn over the hostages. And they're playing the humanitarian aid card saying that COGAT is not transferring HA into Gaza. You want to see what an actual world leader says?
Currently it has, as you know, tunnels, and people are in those tunnels, and you have some good people and some bad people, and you may have hostages right now. You know, you have the hostages possibly there. They don't know where they are. And, you know, I have a Saturday deadline, and I don't think they're going to make the deadline personally. I think they want to play tough guy, but we'll see how tough they are. But it's going to be a wonderful thing. It's going to be wonderful for the Middle East. I think it'll turn the Middle East. I think you're going to have peace in the Middle East. You're going to eventually have peace in the Middle East.
Eventually. Now, it's not turning over every single hostage. It's not any of that crap. Like, you will release what was agreed upon, right? Now, when I told you that this ceasefire deal was going to fail, I said it for a reason. It's going to fail, period. And here's why. Hamas has zero incentive whatsoever to turn over the remaining hostages. As a matter of fact, holding on to them actually works out in their favor. Why? Because Bibi went on frickin' international television the other day, sitting next to frickin' Orange Man Bad over here, and stated that, yeah, the United States might be helping everybody out and all this other crap, but that doesn't take away from our goal. That doesn't take away from our goals. Getting the hostages back is one goal. Ensuring that October 7th never happens again is another goal. And that's going to be accomplished through eliminating Hamas. He flat out said it the other day, sitting there next to Orange Man Bad. That's what he said. That they're going to eliminate Hamas at the end of the day. So therefore, Hamas has zero reason whatsoever in order to surrender these hostages. Their demands have been and always have been that the IDF pulls out of the Gaza Strip completely, never to return, so that they can live in their little peace and sovereignty. The issue is that they have a radical religious ideology. And that radical religious ideology is always going to supersede the laws of man. So when this BS deal ended up getting cut back in January, the day before Orange Man Bad ends up making it into office, well, yeah, they're going to get a couple back. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm sure the ones that are there are extremely appreciative of being able to get the F out of Dodge. Congratulations. I'm really happy for that. But the hard facts is, and the hard truth is, and I appreciate every single hostage that got released. I congratulate you on being released. I am so happy you're out of captivity. But in the meantime, Hamas is being able to regroup, reorganize, and more people are going to die because of it. There is no right and there is no wrong in it. Those decisions were made by people other than me. But those are the simple facts. Lives will be lost because of the decisions that were made that led up to this hostage agreement.
That means, okay? And let's say they don't release the hostages and they give an excuse that Israel hasn't given aid. What do? Just dismiss it out of hand? And what could all hell really even look like? You know, you just heard the White House say no boots on the ground and we're not going to pay for whatever happens in Gaza. So what are the options? John Spencer, chair of urban warfare studies at West Point, knows Gaza, the terrain, and the state of play politically and tactically very well. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Chris.
All hell breaks loose, or whatever the hyperbole is. Should we just dismiss it as talk and not necessarily indication of anything that the American military can actually do here?
I absolutely wouldn't take it out of context, and that's the message straight for Hamas. It has nothing to do with the U.S. military. Israel, the Prime Minister of Israel just here last week did an interview saying, don't need U.S. troops, don't need U.S. money. All hell breakout to me means the restart of the operations without Hamas's main shield, which is their civilian population they put in front of them. This goes with the plan to move civilians out of harm's way. For me, all hell breaks out means you restart the operation without the political constraints, still protecting civilians in warfare like Israel has been doing, but Hamas days on the earth are numbered. That's hell for them.
Now, that's technically, John Spencer, you and I, we have disagreed on a thing or two, and that's okay. I highly respect your opinion. Hamas being eliminated is not all hell for them. It's actually highly respected. When they ended up dying in jihad, it gets raised to a higher level, and they get more gifts when they get up. Well, they're not going to heaven. Let's just be perfectly honest with that. But I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't make that determination. You know, the world that you're born into is the world that you know. I'm not the Almighty. I don't get to make that decision. But I think there are some like moral values that are intrinsically implanted in every human being. And I can't help but think, as a person that has been to war, that has taken enemies captive, that has stared them in the eyes, that has had to literally beat some of them with my freaking hands, that there is not a shred of decency in those people. That there is not a gut feeling that murdering somebody inside of a tunnel is wrong. That crossing a border and murdering people, innocent men, women, children, elderly, taking babies hostage, is wrong. It's all wrong. And I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your background is. You are a human being, and intrinsically, you are born with the knowledge of right and wrong when it comes down to some really, really basic things. And they have lost it. They don't have that. That's not hell for them. Hell for them is going to be after they die. That's going to be hell. When they die and they actually go, that's going to be hell for them. But in the meantime, as they're fighting and they're doing their jihad and everything else, that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be absolute pleasure and joy for them. And that's the problem, and that's what the West does not understand. That's why these hostages aren't going to get exchanged. That's why it's so easy for me to call and tell you weeks ago, the ceasefire deal is going to fail. It's not going to happen. It's going to fail. Well, let's keep going.
So you're saying Trump saying I'm going to release the hounds, so to speak, and tell Bibi, you do what you feel you need to do. They broke the deal.
But also put in political leadership behind him saying, no, we need other Arab countries to take civilians to get them out of harm's way while we do what we all agree, which is remove Hamas from power, remove their control over the population, and not do the inhumane thing, which was repopulate the rubble, minefields of rubble.
But isn't that part of the farce in this situation, John? That this idea that the Arab Brotherhood is a thing. Egypt doesn't want any more Palestinians. Jordan doesn't want any more Palestinians. Yeah, everybody talks about their brothers when it comes to making Israel the bad guy. But you saw that wall, on the Rafah Gate there between Egypt and them. Do you think Trump can make them take people they don't want? They got a ton of Palestinians in there already.
Absolutely. And that's the hypocrisy of even like Egypt, who let 100,000 Palestinians out if they paid the right price. This international norm of letting people escape war, right? Repopulating or force, that's not what they're talking about. Let them escape the war. And absolutely, as President Trump, in a discussion with Egypt, I think can encourage them to allow civilians to get out of harm's way.
And here is where John Spencer and I, again, are going to disagree. And no offense to John Spencer, but there is a fact that he just glossed right over. And that fact is, in 2010, you had 100,000 kids self-proclaimed by Hamas that got trained in their little jihad terror camps over the summer. Further, 100% of Hamas is Palestinian. I'll say that again. 100%, not 99, not 98, not 97, but 100% of Hamas in Gaza is Palestinian. All of their family, all of their extended family. And it's not a big place. Not at all. It's tiny. It's the size of the city of Las Vegas. They're the ones that supported them. They're the ones that voted them into office. They're the ones that had the vast majority of the civilian population when actually polled that said that they, even after they watched the videos, that there was no atrocities committed on October 7th. Those are the people that took to the streets, cheered, chanted, and did everything in their human power to cheer on Hamas, that hid the hostages inside of their refugee camps. Those are the Palestinian civilians.
We're going to have to pay for it?
No. Israel said that. Israel just said that. And then this is what should have been done from day one, Chris. The ideal...
No, I'm saying us. I'm saying us. You think the United States are going to have to pay these people to take the Palestinians?
Absolutely not. There's enough leverage there. I mean, I'm not going to get ahead of the administration, but you saw King Jordan, although he said some different things after the meeting, he said he was willing to. Why wouldn't you take 2,000 kids needing medical care before President Trump makes a statement?
Because they've all been brainwashed, John Spencer. And I love you, man. You've got some really good, really valid opinions when it comes to stuff. But those kids have been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed. Harder to convince somebody that they've been lied to than convince them of the truth. You've got kids as young as 8 and 9 years old that have jumped the fence in Gaza, ran across, into Israel, stabbed people. That's who they risk bringing in. And even on the back of some of these celebration trucks and things like that during the hostage release, you saw young children dressed in full Hamas attire, likely with their parents, their dad or whoever, family, cousin, uncle, whatever. I have no idea. Holding AKs and Shiza.
That's, there's some hypocrisy
he said
here.
Steadfast position against the displacement of Palestinians. That's not the King of Jordan saying he'll take them. He's saying that I don't want them to have to leave there. I don't know how you rebuild with them there.
You
but
don't.
Look, let's see. Let's get.
And again, this is where it is time for people to be intellectually honest. This is one of those ones that during the interview, I would stand there and I would be like, look, dude, you're being intellectually dishonest. King Abdullah of Jordan, I reiterated Jordan's steadfast position against the displacement of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. Trump's plan was that they have an option and they're not being displaced. They're being temporarily relocated for their safety because there's estimated 30,000 unexploded ordnance inside of Gaza. And if you are a parent and you live there and you were given the opportunity to take your kids and put them somewhere else, what parent in their right mind would want their kids playing with UXO, unexploded ordnance, bombs, houses rigged, booby traps, IEDs? You want your kids running around playing that crap? I don't. And yet, despite the fact that they murdered 1,200 people, despite the fact that they took hostages, despite the fact that they freaking voted Hamas into power, despite the fact that they supported them, despite the fact that they cheered them on as they drug bodies through this freaking street, despite all of that, the United States of America, the big devil, offered to let them go somewhere else while we demined and reconstructed the place for their betterment. You're going to sit there and protest against it, dude? Come on now.
Get some more pieces on the board in terms of what's going to happen this weekend. And then please, John, come back and explain to me what the options are. I appreciate your candor. You can wear a lot of different hats in this situation, and I need information from all of them. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
There's your options, Chris. Those are the options. Let your kids run around and get their hands, legs, feet, and everything else blown off while we're trying to reconstruct a place and active fighting's taking place. Oh, by the way, Chris, with your little smug-ass smile over there, thinking that you know everything about how the world freaking operates because somebody put you on a platform, the fact is that a lot of the Hamas fighters defected. And they went back to the Gaza population. They went from being Hamas fighters back to Palestinians. And who the hell can distinguish between the two on October 7th? Because they all looked exactly the damn same. And a lot of those fighters that ended up defected that are back in their civilian population, not a snowball's chance in hell. I don't care how much biometric data you have on the border, they're going to get through. And then when we rebuild and we let them go back into Gaza, guess what they're going to do? They're going to start schwacking people again. They're going to wait and they're going to go back to like running jihad. Sky God came in gifting out 2020 Speak the Truth memberships. Wait, what? Came in, says, if anyone asks, I wasn't here. Okay, well, now people know you were here, buddy, because you donated. I love you to death, but that happened. I watched it. That was 100% a thing. Sun Wong Kong came in and said, hey, Matt, I saw your X post, and I wanted to say how sorry I am to hear about your situation. Stay strong, soldier. May God strengthen you and your loved ones. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate that. And I really do, man. I greatly appreciate it. I ended up taking it down a little bit earlier today for other reasons. Not that wasn't what I put up wasn't factual or fact-based, because it is. But I decided to stand up for myself and filed a report. Larry comes in, says nothing but the truth. James O'Rourke says, we are always here for you, Matt. We are family on this page, coming through Dallas to Austin in a few weeks, and we need to grab that beer. James, just text me, man. We're going to grab the beer. Only problem is I don't exactly have a place for you to sleep right now. And truthfully, it's probably better and more safe for you not to be there. Aztexian Prick says, people don't know what hell is until they have a child die in their arms and you hear the mother's blood-curdling scream. I'm a first responder, I know. It's a fact. Or I'll one-up you, not that I like to one-up, I'll one-up you and say, when a child gets killed in combat for shooting at you and the mother shows up and then blames you for their death. Wait, what? Coming in again, says, damn, forgot about that, Matt. DOH. Oh, Night keep coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships, man. Greatly appreciate you for coming in with that. Let's keep this train rolling. Let's get back to the next thing over here. Like I said, Hamas did come out and they ended up saying that no more hostages are going to end up getting released, on and on and on. Now, there's another big monster that a lot of people are ignoring, and that monster is Ukraine. Let's be honest. Like, the monster is not Ukraine, but the monster is like the war inside of Ukraine. Ukraine's like literally at a tipping point right now. Literally at a tipping point. If we properly fund them and we make sure that that funding exists and everything, it kind of gives Ukraine a little bit of weight when it comes to negotiating for what's going to take place between them and Russia. And I reported you guys, I believe it was like last week, and then I want to say it was Texas ended up coming up with like a very valid statement, which was a lot of their rare earth materials that Trump was negotiating for back and forth are actually located up over in the Donbass region. Some of like a huge lithium deposit over inside of Crimea. And so the big plan was, if we can get Zelensky to agree to give us some rare earth materials to basically be the collateral for all of the U.S. weaponry that's going their way, hey, we got a deal and you're going to get everything that you need. Well, guess what?
I want to have our money secured because we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. And, you know, they may make a deal, they may not make a deal, they may be Russian someday, or they may not be Russian someday, but we're going to have all this money in there. And I say, I want it back. And I told them that I want the equivalent, like $500 billion worth of rare earth. And they've essentially agreed to do that. So at least we don't feel stupid. Otherwise, we're stupid. I said to them, we have to get something. We can't continue to pay this money. You know, I want to.
That deal apparently has gone through. Like, we got the agreement to it. $500 billion worth of rare earth minerals in exchange for military aid. I think that's pretty freaking solid. Sun Wukong coming in again. Pet peeve of mine, Palestinians in Gaza ain't the same as the Bible. They are Arabs. The OGs have been gone for over 2,000 plus years. Palestinians come from the Hebrew Pelishti, which means invader archaeology shows they were Messenians. Learn something new every day. Yeah. And if you really go back over time, and so like one of the things that I like to bring up, and I'm going to continue to go through some of these comments, everything goes, when I'm debating people and I'm bringing this up with them is one of two things is true. It's either okay to invade and conquer, or it's not. It's either okay to invade and conquer, or it's not. If it's okay to invade and conquer, you have zero complaints against Israel right now. None. If it's not okay to invade and conquer, then all of the Muslims that are holding on over there need to GTFO. Why? Go read some history. That is one of those intellectual questions that you just can't get away from no matter how much you try. Ranked Scrub. Every dollar spent on Ukraine defense is 100 times value. I would agree with that statement. I don't think it's good to have Russia gain more control. BBG coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Dustin Z. Trump just said to reporters in his office they asked if Palestinians would have the right to come back, and he said no. Interesting. I'm going to look that up and try to get it in context, and I will talk about that tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Andreas Northam coming in with 5. Whatever that guy just said about Plishtim is false about Jews. Interesting. B Knight 22, you have been daily for years for me, and letting us into your life means a hell of a lot. We seriously love for you, Matt. Have love for you. Yeah. Well, I mean, I greatly appreciate all of the support you guys have came my way. I felt a hell of a lot of support. If you guys don't know what it is, It's a thing. My Twitter is AngerTab, ANGERTAB. I'll make sure it's back up on the screen as it normally is, as it was up over at my home broadcasting station up until a couple days ago. You will have all of that stuff. ANGERTAB. You can look me up. MATT space TARDIO. Matt Tardio is my name. You feel free to go over there and take a look at it. I'm happy to give it, like, you guys. I do a lot of my work over there, talk to a lot of people, get on a lot of panels, everything else. Last clip before I end up cutting.
Executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
Number one trending. Can you believe it? A paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes, and we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I can't believe it took an executive order to say that plastic straws are okay. And if you think for some reason plastic straws from the United States are freaking like covering the ocean, it's absolutely horrible. You really need to go look at what's taking place in Asia and the amount of crap that's made its way over in the ocean because of Asia. I can't believe that we actually had an executive order for it. He went like, it is what it is. Patrick Nice Shoes coming in gifting out a Speak the Truth membership. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate all of your guys' donations. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you better be. You should be. What are you waiting on? Just click the subscribe button. By the way, only about like 8% of you have your notification bell turned on. So if you're watching this live stream right now, make sure the notification bell's turned on, for crying out loud, because I'm going to be live again tomorrow morning. More video drops are going to happen and all that good stuff coming at you guys at the frickin' reg. At the reg. And for those of you that are asking what's going on with me, let's just put it this way. I finally found my self-respect again, and I will never, ever, ever put myself back in that situation. Ever. Not one freaking iota of my blood is going to happen. I got the hell out of there with what little self-respect I have left, and I suggest that if you are ever in that situation, you do the absolute same. You want to talk about living in hell? You want to talk about living in a nightmare? I've been through SEER school. I've been to war more times than I can count. I'm over it. That shit is absolute hell. And you better believe when all is said and done, I'm going to do it. And I appreciate everybody's love and support that they've shown my way as I continue to navigate my way through that filthy little field that I currently call life. It's fine. You know why? Because we're men and we move on. But I'm going to speak up about it. And what I said, every single word, was true. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out, because every single word is true. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. I really do. And I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate the love and care and everything that you've spread my way. And I will tell you this, that last time I cried on her back in March, that's the last time that shit's ever going to happen in my life. Peace, love, happiness.